everybody, and welcome to this month's session of Soundclash The Clampdown. I'm very excited to get into some musical shenanigans with these players. We have not played in quite some time. It's been so many weeks, and I'm actually really craving this session because a lot of very interesting things happened in our last session. So I'm very excited to finally pay those things forward for my players. But before we do that, I just want to say hello to you all and make sure that we do some housekeeping before we begin, but I cannot type apparently. So if someone could just put exclamation point R things in the chat, that would be really nice. Um, Apparently I'm here quiet. Let me make sure of that because sometimes my audio does a thing. Because I also don't want to kill. Also don't want to kill you all. But this should be good, I think. Um, and I'll make sure of that as we continue. Um, but thank you so very much, all of you, for being present this evening. And I would just like to remind you all that you can support this channel in various different ways, including but not limited to um, supporting Arv's Patreon, which you can find a link to in the chat using exclamation point Arvtreon. It is presently around $215, so that can definitely go up at some point, so we can not only continue to make cool, interesting stuff like this happen on the channel, but so we can do even more um, interesting things and have more opportunities for other people to be present on the channel and share space with you all. Um, Definitely don't forget the YouTube channel, which gives you access to the VODs for all of the interesting content that appears on this channel. Exclamation point Arv Shop, which gives you access to a slew of wonderful merch that you can buy to essentially uh, promote your love of the cool things that happen on this channel. Um, Definitely shout out speculatorstuff.com, which is the uh, actual play podcast that I co-host with Greg and our other frequent collaborator Mike Underwood, which you can find a lot of very interesting actual play content on, including my other game. This is the case of Descended Seal, our Blades in the Dark campaign, as well as Splendor and Shadow, the Rebel Crown campaign that Mike Underwood is presently GMing and that I get to play in. Because I get to play. Sometimes I get to play games. Um, Definitely also shout out um, Icarus because I keep forgetting to mention that Icarus is a very cool book that you can definitely get your hands on. So definitely at some point, please, if you have not already, I'm sure that you have already because you also know that the book is brilliant. But if you haven't already gotten your hands on a copy of Icarus, I definitely recommend it. Also, exclamation point Gray Shade Chaos, if I'm not mistaken, is that other command. I would type it but I can't type the letter G presently because my keyboard has betrayed me. Um, but if you want to also check out Grey Shade, which is soon to be published by Athos Arts, which is near dear to my heart. Athos does a lot of very cool stuff in general, but not only is Grey Shade going to be a thing that you can get your hands on very soon, but the rest of the Grey Assassin trilogy is yet to come, which you can get more information about from that link. And last but not least, of course, exclamation point BLM if you want to get more information about and find ways to support the Black Lives Matter movement on this channel. We definitely do uh, assert and affirm the value of Black lives in the United States and everywhere. It is particularly important to do whatever one can to support movements like this that continue to fight for the equality, safety, and dignity of Black people everywhere. Um, exclamation point help now if you want information on resources about mental health. I have been having a particularly difficult struggle today, in fact, which has reinforced the kind of value of finding resources, finding help, finding ways to help when individuals are struggling with their own mental health. So, if you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, not only would that give you access to resources that help you um, take better care of yourself, but give you resources that help you find ways to be available and be helpful to the people around you. So I definitely recommend that as well. Thank you, garlic tofu. I was having a time today, and I'm sure after I enjoy the next 2 hours with our friends who are about to play, I'm going to feel a whole lot better. So, yes, thank you so very much for all of your love in the chat. But without further ado, I should ask all of these wonderful people to play a game with me. So, I'm going to click some things in Zoom and probably accidentally interrupt the conversation they were having about like solving world peace or something like that. Um, yeah, it would appear that I have interrupted a very important conversation. They were probably solving like really important world issues earlier, but now
Mm.
we're about to play a game, which I'm sure is a step up from solving all of the woes of the world. But yes, say hello to all of these lovely players who are about to play a game of Sound Clash with me. And please, I would like to ask you all very much to please introduce yourself to all of the lovely folks in chat. Tell everyone who you are, what you do, and who you are playing this evening, starting with Vale.
Hi guys, I'm Vale. I use he and they pronouns. I am playing Ava Perone, who plays. I always forget this. I think it's the beat.
Yes, you are the beat.
I really need to stop forgetting that. Um, there you go.
Cool. Next, Nathan.
Hello, 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 hello. I am your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, from a new filming location. Not that you can tell because I have a green screen background today. I play Oliver Hoshizora, the Harmony, resident sad boy and theremin player.
Nice. Next, Katie.
Hello, I'm Katie, she, her pronouns, and I'm playing your antisocial social club sweater owning person and wallflower, River Song, who is the rhythm.
Thank you. And last but definitely not least, Amr.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Amr Ramirez. I am playing Mehmet, our melody, band face, and I guess resident shitster. Hi. We both use any pronouns except he. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. So, when last we left off on our last session of Sound Clash the Clampdown, um, the band, A Cordial Eclectic, had just finished their first performance in this season's Clash. They did very well. Um, it, not only did they manage to win over the audience very effectively and very easily, but they may have caused some structural damage to some of the authority, like rapid response mecha cannons on the edge of the hex. They may have like literally just tore one out of the ground and sent it flying into the air, which is absolutely brilliant, I'm sure. Um, but not only did they successfully perform in their clash, but in the midst of being invited to an after party, Nakhmat gained some very interesting information about the promoter of the event that may imply that his life may be terribly in danger. And if I recall correctly, where we last left off, we hadn't even left stage yet after gaining that information. Um, so I guess my first question should be, specifically to Nakmat, which is after having learned that, what is your next move?
I mean, so I'm probably gonna relay that information to the group. Um, can you remind me exactly what it was I heard?
You saw a vision um, of Devlin several, like some manner of time um, before like that moment, which may have been while you were performing or may have been much earlier, um, where they reported to a stage manager that they had um, been threatened and that some portion of their trailer had been um, vandalized. Were met by a woman that you had not met before who seemed really uncaring about the entire situation.
Mm-hmm.
And afterward, at which point Devlin not only confirms that one or more of the members of Weirder were responsible for the vandalism, but the stage manager also recommends to Devlin that they seek your help in particular. And after that, after that interaction had happened, after you had gotten that vision, you notice that Devlin is not very overt, but you can tell just by looking at him. He seems very worried about a thing, and he seems to
Yes.
be like signaling with his eyes to you in particular that maybe you should ask him about it.
Uh. Okay.
So you're all still on stage. The crowd is literally somewhere in between, still like cheering for your success, and very slowly, very quietly, kind of fizzling out into
Right.
the rest of the night. As I guess some folks move to the after party, and some folks go home or go back to work in some dreadful cases. But yes.
Cool. I'm gonna signal to the band to follow me backstage, because I'm assuming where everyone was probably headed anyway, since we were being ushered off, right?
The stage manager, there's a stage manager at the edge of the stage who is signaling for you to leave, and as you step off they actually like idly mention to you, well, you can go backstage, we put some refreshments and stuff for you if you want to just like chill out for a little bit, but we'd like to see you at the after party afterwards. There will be a shuttle to pick you up in the next 6-7 minutes if you're into that, or you can ask one of the other shuttle drivers to take you all home or something if you want. But yeah, I guess I'll check on you in the next 5, and that stage manager like disappears again afterward.
Mm-hmm. Nakmat will turn to the rest. So, turns out devils are afraid of ghosts.
Oliver is just staring out into the middle distance and has been kind of largely non-responsive since the performance ended, and just kind of stares blankly at you, I guess, with the kind of cryptic message you've given.
So, that's not a mandatory party then? We could just go home?
Ava's gonna sort of like pat like River on the shoulder, and I think if this is okay, Nathan, she's gonna be sort of leading Oliver around since they look a little bit dazed.
Sure. I think, yeah, you take Oliver by the shoulder, and he looks eyes with you, and his eyes are completely stars, not just the kind of like glittery, oh, I've been wowed by the idea of music. He really pushed himself at the end of that performance to summon the meteor and then have it not actually physically crash into an entire crowd of people.
Yeah.
And it seems that pushing themselves to do that large amount of magic in one go, untrained, has kind of knocked the wind out of their sails. And with that beat like the 2 seconds or so of staring directly at you with just the depth of space in their eyes. They blink a couple times, being like, sorry?
Nachmat was either going to have like a religious debate with us, or was implying something about Devlin.
Taps forehead to the second one. Yep.
Yeah.
Was he impressed, or?
I think
Did you see
everyone was
something?
impressed, Oliver.
He might have been, but I think he was more concerned with other affairs. Let's just say we weren't the weirdest thing to happen today.
Oh, right. Weirder, yes.
More specifically, they let's just say someone vandalized his trailer, whatever, room thingamabob, whatever you call a rich person's hangout on a studio.
I
Ah,
guess in the
who would
same
do
way
that?
they've done before.
Oh no, and I couldn't possibly tell you who would do that. It's a very weird thing to happen.
Okay.
You have an art for this, Nachmat. I'm just going to tell you, like, the weird way of speaking, top notch.
So should we go to our trailers? Maybe talk there instead of right next to the stage.
Well, I think he might want to talk to us. Someone told him to talk to us to do something about it. I don't know why we would be the ones to do something about it and why we would want to help him. But
I mean, why not? Excuse me for maybe being pragmatic, but if you can't run the show, then there is no show for us. So, I guess if he needs to feel comfortable to run the TV show or whatever, if we can help keep the show running, we stand a better chance of staying in the competition or whatever. I'm sorry, I just feel a bit
do you need to
headachy. That was a lot.
Do you want a juice box?
Oliver blinks at you a few times. Sure.
Let's go. We can get refreshments and we can talk. I don't know. We just did something awesome and I don't know. We're changing topics so fast. There's so many emotions inside of me. I don't know. We did it. We didn't really celebrate until let's go. We gotta
I enjoy that slowly increasing amount of energy, and I think after a while, Oliver begins to catch up with you and is like, "Yes, yes, no, good. We should go. We should go and then like celebrate maybe or whatever. But going."
Can we like lock arms like the yellow brick road and go towards the refreshment stands?
Yeah, with
I love
increased energy, that seems to have brought Oliver back.
So you all lock arms and like essentially skip over to your trailer. As that happens, if I am not mistaken, everyone except Nachmat has 2 dots in a tune.
Yeah.
I've got 1 dot. I'm sitting here in low dot camp.
I would like all of you to give me an attune roll.
Indeed. Man, I
Do
opened
I
everything
care about
except Roll20. I'm
straining?
very professional.
Yes.
All of your positions are... Wait, hold on. Let me think about this specifically. Okay, cool. All of your positions are risky and all of your effects are standard except for Ava. Ava, your position is desperate.
Oh,
XP.
no. I'm gonna mark that in my
Yes,
page
please.
before I roll.
Is this a group action?
It is not.
Ah, you got
Is
me.
the all of us everyone with 2 dots or me included?
You are included.
I'm gonna roll a d12 then.
I'm
I'm
also
gonna roll a
rolling
d20 because my position is desperate. Let's go.
Not in a position to. Oh, rip.
Technically, still a success.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh
All
wow.
right. Wow.
Here goes Amber straining.
Okay. Is 15 also a strain? Remind me.
I feel like it's a stunning success, isn't it?
Yes.
Stunning performance, 14 to 17.
Yep.
Right.
Wah, 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 wah.
So Katie's in the we got every single success range bet. We got
Woohoo!
minor success, full success, stunning success, and strain.
Okay. So a series of things happen in order. Um. Ava, you feel something. It's very difficult to describe. It's like you think you can hear something, but you can't make it out. You have no idea what the sound is or where it's coming from. You just know you feel like something's trying to get your attention. Oliver, you can hear the thing. It's like this faint voice. It sounds like it's behind layers of interruption. Like something soft is like preventing the words from getting to you, but it sounds like this like nice, lovely kind of voice, but you can't make out what it's saying and you can't make out where it's coming from. Katie, River, you can. You can make out that it's coming from roughly further northeast of the hex. It's coming from some ways away from the amphitheater. You can't tell how far, but you can pretty much like follow the sound if you wanted to. If you wanted to commit to following the sound, you feel like you can. And you can hear very softly, still very faintly, as if somewhat interrupted still. You can hear what sounds like a child's voice say, "I left some things for you."
Suddenly,
you
Sound
can,
Clash becomes a horror game.
Nakmat, you can hear that as well. You hear that voice. You can hear that voice loud and clear. The only problem is, immediately after you hear that voice, you hear the sound of dozens of things starting to crash against each other. You hear like what sounds like the only way I can describe it is it sounds like dozens of musical instruments have all crashed against the floor all at once. And the sound of it is so jarring and so disturbing that you get a headache so immense it literally applies force to your body. It lifts you up from the floor and throws you like a good 2.5 feet away from the rest of the group to the right. You feel as if it had grabbed you by the skull and thrown you into the air.
My God, Nagmat.
Oh my gosh.
Can I try and move to like catch Nakmat before they crash too violently?
You can. What would you roll for that?
Da-da-da.
How are you
There
going to
are
catch?
skills. I can look at this.
Yes, you have actions.
Let's see. Oh, I actually had a 7 because I have a 3 and a 2, and I forgot that. That doesn't change anything, but still.
Ness. Scuffle.
Could I argue scuffle? Because I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to like move.
Scuffle works if you want to like essentially like scoop them before they collide with the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I want.
And you have how
Classic
many dots
scoop.
in Scuffle again?
I have 1 dot in scuffle.
Okay, so this is going to be delightful. Your position is risky. And
What?
your effect is standard. Yeah.
All right. I probably won't strain. Let's go. 6. Minor success. That's all we need, baby.
Um.
Scoop boop
Okay.
ba-doop
Yeah.
boop.
It's weird. A minor success is enough that, like, you position yourself in a way that, at least, like, no one's head is going to collide with concrete. But like, the force of both both the force of Nakmat being thrown in the air in the first place and the relative clumsiness at which you get to that position is such that, like, when you do catch them, um like, you both, like, when you fall back, when you catch them, you fall back in such a way that both of you still hit the ground, but you have mitigated any serious harm that would have been done from the, like, initial force. It still kinda hurts for you both, but it doesn't hurt as much as it would have if you didn't stop them.
I like to think that, like, if this is okay, or as, that like Ava like caught Ahmad's arms, and they went tumbling.
The
Perfect.
typical kind of roll.
Dust ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when she's coming up, she's like, "Who the fuck did that?" Like, I think her mask is askew, and she's looking pissed. She's like, "Who the fuck was it? That voice? Did you guys hear that thing?"
Ahmed slowly picks herself up. You know, I haven't heard a sound that violently aggressive since toddlers got into the harmonica room. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Was some sort of child from that way, but it was so far away. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'll be fine down here for a bit though.
Do you want me to get you a juice box?
I think Oliver's gonna need it still.
Well, it's a refreshment
I'm
table.
sure-
There's got to be more than one.
Get him
I
too.
think to that end, Oliver comes over with an additional juice box to the one they're already consuming. And,
I will point
gives
out
the
then,
other one
if
to
you-
Nakmat.
I will just kind of point out, if you went to your trailer for refreshments, I will point out that there is, like, an entire table with juices and sodas in bottles. There is 2 bottles of sparkling non-alcoholic wine, like a bowl with some fruits, a bowl
Sparkling
with
grape
some
juice, y'all.
Skittles. There are some, like, crackers and stuff like that. You can bring back whatever you wish.
Solid. Yeah, I'm definitely committing to the bit of it being juice boxes, though. That's fine.
Mhm.
But
Yes,
yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Juice boxes are amazing for any age.
Correct.
This is true. If you learn anything from tonight's session, it is this fact.
Mhm.
Uh,
But yeah, offering a juice box to Nakmat as well, silently, while also sipping on one.
Cool. So, Natmat, you need to give me a roll for a thing. There are some things I would like you to notice.
Okay.
What action would you like to take?
What? I don't know what I'm necessarily noticing. To, I guess maybe an observe then. If
Yes, observe works.
Okay.
How many dots do you have in observe?
none.
Nice, brilliant. So you will give me 2d20s, and we will take whichever one is the most catastrophic. Your position is controlled, and your
Okay.
effect is limited because you have a headache.
Cool. 19. We strain once more.
Raz is the master of straining.
Okay. So, the things that you notice. 1, for a moment, you are like, where did that noise come from? And the effort of mentally asking yourself where that noise came from makes the noise worse. It doesn't apply any force to you again, but this headache is massive. I take it. I mean, I will allow you to qualify. Has Nakmat ever had a migraine before?
Nechmat?
Yes,
Probably.
probably. Right. This feels worse than a migraine. This feels like external and internal applied force. It doesn't feel like it's just like the pain response to like nerve receptors. It feels like something physical is being applied to your brain. But you don't know where or from what or why. Um, and it just sounds like a lot of noise. It sounds like it's coming from everywhere, including internally.
Okay.
And whenever you stop to have a solid thought, it sounds like it's rising in volume and intensity. But whenever
Okay.
you like stop thinking, it's like still echoing there, as if like someone had dropped a pile of instruments in like a hollow room. And every time you decide to ask the room why there are instruments in it, someone drops another pile of instruments in it. You also notice, however, that every time like that pulse of pain happens in your brain, your left arm becomes translucent again. And just briefly, you can see um an arrow again, but this time it's not just like an arrow made out of color. If you squint like just carefully at it, it looks like it looks like three clarinets are positioned against against the corners of each against the like reeds of each other as if to form an arrow, and it is pointing exactly like northeast.
Okay. Um, Nechmat is just gonna silently take the juice box from Oliver, and then just poke a hole in the bottom and just like let the juice like just drink, like basically gulp the entire juice box in like a
Mhm.
second.
Shotgunning a
Shotgun the
juice box.
fucking juice box.
That's the word I was looking for. There we go. When she's done that, she's gonna just take a deep breath and then like think about how much she hates this, and when the arrow pops up, just show it to the group for as long as she can before like just focusing on breathing for a minute.
Um,
Okay, maybe you should put your head between your legs and just breathe.
River, I will point out to you that it does like strike you as immediately obvious
Yep.
that
That's
it's pointing,
pointing
in the same
towards the
direction you're
voice.
hearing, yeah.
If the voice is there and it did this to Nakmat, how about Oliver? Nakmat, you're kind of not in a place to like move too much. Stay here real quick. River and I will go see what's up with this voice, and if I need to, I'm gonna punch the shit out.
Are we going to be able to pinpoint it without Nachmat?
You will be able to track it by sound, River.
Oh, okay, cool. Can you ride a bike? As in a motorized bike. I have an extra helmet.
Is it that far? Oh, I mean, yeah, I know how to sit on a bike. Yes.
It is at this point that a stage manager, not the same stage manager that spoke to you earlier, another stage manager, comes and says, "Are you all going to the? Wait. Is she okay?" And points at Nakmat.
Ahmed just waves.
They
Like
Like a general wave or a
no,
please
like
leave me
it's
alone
fine.
wave?
Don't worry about it.
if you have anything for headaches, the clash was really intense, and you know, afterwards it takes a lot out of the performer. So
Oh yeah,
if you
I
have
get
something,
it. Reaches into a back pocket and pulls out an entire like box of ibuprofen. Throws you a card with like 6 tabs in it. It's a concert. Of course, we expected this to happen.
Yeah.
Nice, nice,
Are
nice.
you? So I take it then you're. Did you figure out your transport situation? If you need to, if you're going to the party, if you're going home, if you're going home to change to go back to the party, if you want to make a stop, we'll accommodate you until essentially like 11:30, I think. So let us know what your arrangement is. We won't ask any questions.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I would like to go to the party, please.
Okay, that's all of you then.
River has FOMO and therefore wants to go with the others.
Ava's
Silent thumbs
concerned, but when Nachmat thumbs up, she's like, "I'll text." Yes, that's yeah.
Okay, that's four for Club Onyx then. Okay, cool. Come and join me, and we'll take you to the shuttle. Again, if you want to make a stop before and just ask us to pick you up and bring you back to the party, that's cool. I figured some people wanted to change clothes and stuff, so I just wanted to let you know. But yeah, and then
We don't want to go now. Ah.
I think that Oliver does go home to change, which can be like off camera, but like I like the idea of re-arriving at Club Onyx in a different outfit because it's that kind of show.
Okay, cool. So I take it no one is going to take this opportunity to let the driver know you would rather go and find the thing?
So Oliver does not like reference that there's a thing that other people want to do at all, but like
I think Ava would be like, Nachman, are you going straight to the party? No? All right. Can you take these two home to change? And then we'll meet up. No, you're not gonna change? You don't want to go home?
Leave her for
I-
now. I'm going to the
I-
voice.
I want so badly. Ava, I need you to give me a roll.
Okay.
Oh dear.
This roll will determine whether you have any idea what Nachma told you.
I'm cool with that. Is this an attune roll?
No. This, I feel like this is probably an observe roll. Hold on, let me see.
I have a 1 in observe, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'll give you observe. Yeah. You have a
All
1,
right.
so your position is risky and your effect is limited. No, your position is controlled and your effect is limited.
Okay. Bam. Full
Okay.
success.
Right. For the purposes of clarifying, Nakmat, at this moment, you can actually state aloud whatever you were trying to communicate.
Great. I have no idea what Nakma was trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nakma is.
Imagine being in so much pain, you know what you want to say, and then you forget it.
No, I think Nakma is just mostly just like. Nakma doesn't know what they want to do yet, but they're just kind of objecting to being like sent off home mostly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think with that observe, you get the intent. I will give you that like. Nakma does not have any intention to just wait around here while you and River go check that out.
All right. I think Ava's gonna be like, listen, we'll call. Can you give me your number and I'll call for where the shuttle needs to pick us up?
No, yeah, fine, cool. We could just put you off at the nearest corner and you can let us know when you're ready to get found again. That's
Yeah, I personally don't need the shuttle right now. Oliver, we're gonna go look for that thing. If you want to come look for that thing, I understand that you're not feeling the greatest, but like, I'm totally cool with you heading home, changing, getting ready to relax at a party.
Oliver
but-
blinks a few times. Oh yes, you did say something to that effect. That's nice. Have fun.
Gotcha, please. I'm gonna take this guy by the lapels and be like, please take care of him. and then I'm just gonna sort of like go over to Nachmat and offer my hands, like, okay, come on. If we're not leaving you behind, you're coming with us.
okay.
Beauty.
Mehmet
just
will.
okay. So very quickly, remind me. Right. So Eva Peron, River Song. Okay, cool. And the stage manager pulls out their phone, types very frantically with one finger,
Mhm.
and you all get a message on Discord. The three of you get a message on Discord that is just a shortened URL.
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Uh, Mehmet will.
Oh, so go ahead, yeah.
Say Mehmet will like take Eva's hand and like just follow, eyes closed.
Oh, the amount of trust Nachman has in Ava. I love it.
Okay, so how how do you all plan to continue moving northeast?
How far is it in kilometers slash miles, whichever long, like the distance
Um,
you want to describe it as?
you give me a roll. There's an action for this. It can be a tune. You can use a more physical investigation like study if you wish, but I wouldn't thoroughly recommend it to be fair.
Just River or everybody?
Just River. Because River is the only person who can hear it.
I will use a
fair.
D12 again.
Your position is risky and your effect is standard.
And boop. Oh, unrecognized. Okay. Gotta do the programming.
The
Eh.
HTML.
Roll it faster. 16. Stunning success.
Okay. Before you stopped to ask that question, it sounded like it was in the like it would have. It sounded very close, and yet you got the impression that it was somewhere in the radius of 1 to 3 miles away from you, and then it just narrows it down. It narrows itself down to like somewhere around like some 400, 500 feet away from you.
Oh, it's a short walk.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. Raz, how tall is Nachman? This is very important
I
information.
think we've established that they were one of the tallest in the group. I think, from what I remember in the past.
If I recall correctly, I think you are the absolute tallest.
Yeah, I want to say that.
Amazing. Do we remember how tall I said Ava was? Was Ava one of the shortest?
I think so. I think the scale
right.
literally is from Eva to Nachmat.
I think it's Ava, River, Oliver, Nachmat, if I
Yeah.
remember.
All right.
And I think I think specifically Nachmat was like just taller than Oliver.
I'm trying to think about the logistics of like Ava offering Nachman a piggyback ride and how ridiculous it would look.
I'm going to say sufficiently ridiculous. It would be very strange to give somebody a piggyback ride and their feet can still touch the ground.
But it's fine. They're not walking. You're keeping them safe
Yes.
for as long as you don't tumble backwards.
I mean, Mehmet has 0 dots in any force ability, and I'm assuming you have at least some. So one of us is strong, and one of us
Several.
has no physical form.
I will actually say, River, it just dawned on me, you got a stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Not only can you tell now, but like at the moment that you ask, like when you turn around to face it, you can notice this very faintly this light in front of you, and it seems to make a trail that leads from just like a few feet away from you down into one of these streets ahead, and like you can see it like glowing and pulsing as it like turns street corners and stuff like that. And the light itself looks like a musical note that is tumbling down a staff of sheet music.
You turn on quest details.
Yes, you literally hit the quest marker.
Bloop. Ooh, okay. This might fade away. How fast can you go with her on your back?
I break up high school fights.
Let's go.
Okay.
I don't know how feet translate into miles, but I'm pretty sure that's not that many feet.
It really isn't. Like, that's like almost like 150 meters.
Yeah, that's nothing. Let's go.
Yeah.
You could sprint that.
In
No
12
problem.
seconds if you're the fastest person alive.
Yeah.
I want you both to give me a roll
No, no.
just to see exactly how the running goes. I imagine that's scuffle.
I'm gonna fall over. Okay.
River, your position is controlled and your effect is limited.
Cool.
Ava, your position is risky and your effect is limited.
It's fair. It's fair.
That's exciting. I'm rolling 2d20. Boop. Oh, that didn't work. Did it again. Did the exact same thing. Okay. Oh, good. A 20.
Oh, we both strayed.
Yeah.
I'm too powerful.
So strong. I got too excited. I sprint. I do sprint.
This is hilarious. So this is the part where I editorialize to the audience and say, while I love the way that straining works, there are moments when I have not actually thought about what the effect of straining would be on a physical activity. So what dawns on me in this moment is very curious. So you both gear up to run. You face forward. You run ahead. And the moment that you physically get into contact with this otherwise intangible source of light in front of you, you both just rocket forward, northeast. You pass through buildings, you pass through vehicles, you pass through people. You collide semi-intangibly with everything between you and the object that you were going
We're
to
the Mario Star. It's the Mario Star. That's what we got.
Yeah. And you come to a stop some 9-10 seconds later after having traveled several meters.
That Usain Bolt.
And you both shoulder check the wall of a brownstone further northeast of the hex.
So worth it.
It makes River, you are immediately dizzy with the collision.
Oh yeah.
Ava, give me a roll. You have the potential to notice this before colliding ahead first. Give me a roll to determine whether you do.
What am I rolling?
I don't know. You gotta let me know.
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna collide into this wall or not.
What I'm going to say is, I think it stands to reason to me that a finesse is whether you are trying to move out of the way, and a scuffle is whether you're going to take the blow head on.
I feel like Ava knows who she is as a person. And she knows that if she hits this wall, she'll bounce, and it'll be okay as long as like Nachmat doesn't hit this wall. It's
right,
fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
That's the part that you have to be aware of. You will be okay, but you're carrying a passenger.
So then I think she'd try and stop herself from hitting this wall at all, even though it's going to be very difficult. So here we go. We're rolling 2d20. What
Okay.
up?
Position is risky.
Hey,
Effect is limited.
is Nachma in enough of a position to like try and aid anything in this, or is Nachma just along for a ride, right?
Dagwood has no idea what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Then
The
I'm
minute-
sorry
the
that
minute
your
you all
that
touch the
your
thing,
character is in. I'm sorry that your character is currently in danger because of that. Here we go.
are those both? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Both successes.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you. Right, so
Lucky. So
Right?
lucky.
essentially, so what happens is this path of light curves and twists through all of these streets, but you touch the thing, and instead of following it through streets, you follow it in a straight line near its final destination. So at the point where you're going to come out of this thing, you're going to like come out where there is still enough path left to walk between you and the like actual chest, but you are like passing through solid objects. So what happens is River goes wham against red brick.
Oh,
You
where's
don't
the anvil?
you don't
Where's
hit
the?
you don't hit your head, but your whole arm, your whole left side crack against the wall. Nothing breaks, but God, you're in a lot of pain. It feels for a moment like half of you is just pins and needles at this moment.
Oh yeah.
Ava,
Magic.
however, comes out of this path of light, and for this brief moment has this kind of Looney Tunes skid backward kind of moment where I can see the wall. This is going to go badly either for both of us or just the person on my back. I should do something. And you essentially do that to the point where you just like accidentally take a barrel roll against one of the nearby dumpsters, but you land against it very lightly. I will point out, however, that Nakmat, just touching the light sounds like the headache all over again for 9 seconds straight, and it feels like an absolute eternity.
Oh.
And then you come out and you see you are near an alleyway. You're in a part of town where, very weirdly enough, the way that the inner hexes on these corners are positioned is such that someone's very expensive loft apartment, a 2-story building that has a bar on top of another bar, and 2 fast food restaurants are all positioned in this corner in this alleyway in such a way that all of the walls are the backs of these buildings. You are like in like this very weird kind of alleyway concoction in this portion of the hex. And ahead of you, further along the like path of light, like just like 6 or 7 feet away from you at this point, is this broken metal chest. It is like it's like 12 feet wide, something like 6.5 feet high, and it has like fallen against like this not very wide enough portion of the alley in such a way that things are obviously spilling out of it. And the things that you can see very obviously out of this chest right now are what look to be coins in a currency that you've never seen before, in the colors of a silver that is very obviously not nickel, gold, and something that looks even golder than gold to the point where it just looks like pure yellow metal.
Gold
Um,
plus.
you see like some broken pieces of steel. You see like some of what looks like obviously snapped guitar strings and like broken drumsticks inside there. And you see two um, large white envelopes that look less like they're made out of paper and more like the actual like outer portion of the envelope is like some soft glittering material, like someone had put sequins on velvet or something like that and still made it small enough to feel like paper, but they're like just like jutting out one of the broken corners of the chest.
We had a loot crate drop in Sound
Glitter.
Clash.
Yeah,
Welcome,
this is
welcome to
literally
Fortnite.
this is literally a loot drop. This is literally
I don't know. I think these could be glitter bombs. You know, they open the envelope, drop glitter everywhere, can never get out of your carpet.
That's a thing? People do that to people? Ava
Anyway,
looks
back in
horrified.
character. Phew. Oh,
so
did you
does
bring
what?
the ibuprofen? It's gonna smart. It's gonna bruise.
Well, the stage manager gave those tabs to Ava, so Ava has them. Are you going
Yep.
to give River one?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna let Nachmat down too.
Mm-hmm.
Give Nachmat back their agency in this.
Okay. The child said, "Ugh, they left something for us. It might be this
Money?
crate."
Like, is
Nachmat
this-
is gonna crawl over and like reach to feel it.
You touch it, and the noise is gone. Still the remnants of a very bad headache, but at least you can think now.
They don't know that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't tell. You are still in a lot of pain.
Nachmat will slowly go to open the box.
Okay, like it's busted and it fell in such a way like it fell kind of on its face, so like you just
Okay.
kind of lift it up a little bit and you throw back the top of the chest. It is overflowing with coins. There are like some pieces of confetti that seem to change color. Not even in response to light, like just totally at random. And you see four small like jewelry boxes that have just kind of like clumped together at the side of the chest because of the way that they've fallen, but they seem relatively undisturbed. And as you like get closer to the chest, you also notice that the two envelopes have names on them on the front. One is addressed to Miss Perron, and one is addressed to Noah. It just says Noah.
Was this the chest that was blown out of the sky by the cannons that we threw into the sky?
I'm starting to think so. And if it came from another world, where the noise comes from, do you think this is real? Do you think these are real gold?
This has
Because-
got your name on it.
Oh God, it's a curse. It's definitely a curse. But like,
If you don't read it, I'm reading it.
I'll read it. I'll open it.
Okay. So you open the envelope, and there is this large, like, cardboard sheet inside the envelope. It's like very thick. It's like it feels as thick as the page of a magazine, but it's not like flexible. It's very
Like
stiff.
cardstock?
Yeah, it's a very stiff piece of cardstock. Um, and on it, in some very fancy calligraphy, in ink that starts black and then kind of every once in a while seems to like shimmer gold and silver and then return to black very briefly while you're reading it. The letter reads, Dear Ava, I'm sorry that it has been difficult to get in contact with you ever since the first time you heard this. But I do imagine that you have great work to do in order to save this part of the realms. Your city and your nation is in dire conflict, but everyone who hears this sound seems to have this problem. Hopefully, since you've heard all of it, you will be better equipped to deal with what is at stake. To that end, I have left you and your friends some gifts. Please see to it that whoever opened the door also gets their letter, with my apologies that I have no gifts to spare. Regards. And the signature is just this weird symbol that you've never seen before that looks like an infinity symbol leading it. Like, it looks like one half of an infinity symbol on top, and on the bottom a whole infinity symbol where the top meets it in the center.
Sorry,
God.
I just saw what Nathan put in the chat.
Oh God! I wish I were creative enough to give you a whole weird ass symbol, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. So yeah, and when you get to the paragraph that mentions that you've received gifts, not only when that portion of the letter shimmers, so do the boxes, even though the boxes are black velvet.
River touches a box.
I
You
mean,
just
honestly,
touch the box doesn't do anything.
honestly, because I feel like Ava read this aloud because she wasn't gonna get cursed alone.
Oh God.
River picks up a box.
Okay, you pick up the box. The box is a box.
How heavy is
feels-
it?
It feels like it has something in it. It's not. It doesn't feel terribly heavy, but it feels like it definitely has something of value inside.
River slowly opens the box, expecting snakes.
Okay.
Oh yes, it's peanut brittle. It's a peanut brittle box.
Yeah, it's a classic prank.
You find in the box on the top of the on the inside of the box at the top is a very large coin. It looks. How do I qualify the size of this coin? It's roughly the size of a challenge coin. It is not the size of a quarter or something like that. It's not the size of a $1 coin. It is like as big as like a quarter of your head. And it is that very brighter yellow gold.
Are you describing a loonie, which is a Canadian $1 coin?
Probably just a bit bigger than a loonie, if I'm not mistaken about the size of a loonie. Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger. And
Also kind of gold, which is why I'm
yes.
internally laughing at your description of a loonie.
Yeah, it shimmers with this kind of extra gold kind of quality that you've never seen before. It has a lot of etchings on it that you cannot make out. Like it as if it were minted in a language you do not read or speak. But it's huge. And on the inside, River, you find a black snap bracelet. And on the top of like just above where the snap bracelet is, there is like the very faintly carved into the box the name Ava.
Yep. This is your box.
Well, you can't just like choose a okay. What is and
When-
so
Ava, when you look at it, it doesn't look black. It looks like it's this weird kind of feeling where for a moment it looks just black. And then it looks Vanta black. It looks like perfect, absolute pitch black. And then it looks like you can see like stars moving in it.
are we
it
sure
feels
this
like-
isn't Oliver's?
Oh no, this is it has your name on it.
Oh, it's just it's stars, Joe.
Stars.
It's just me being a jerk. I'm sorry for interrupting, Brandon.
Do you put it on?
I think she's gonna look at River, and she would have looked at Nachmat, but I'm assuming Nachmat's like busy. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But she's gonna be like, should I put this on, or should I wait until like Oliver is around and we can like examine it?
I mean, if Nachmat were here and able to respond, I'm quite sure she'd want you to just try snapping that on. But it's up to you because it could be a curse, and that's scary.
Probably a curse. They're cursing me to be a hero according to that letter, and I'm just a teacher. And like, technically, we're heroes because we teach, but not that kind of hero. And then
You
Ava's
do
just
provide
gonna-
an essential service.
And then Ava. So Brandon, when you say snap bracelet, is it like a bracelet with like a little metal snap, or is it like a slap bracelet? where
Right,
you
yes,
just
a
click-
slap bracelet. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's
yes,
the best one.
perfect. Ava's gonna slap that on her wrist.
Uh-huh.
Slap.
When you
This
do
bad
so,
boy can fit so much magic inside it. Okay, continue.
when it wraps around your wrist, it doesn't make like that satisfying clicking noise that a snap bracelet does. Instead,
It's a curse.
no one else can hear anything but you. And you hear a drum roll.
Ooh.
And then it just like slowly fades away.
Ava's like, it has the power of a PowerPoint presentation.
We're very silly today.
When you put it on, the text of the letter changes.
That's not what real paper does. Okay.
And when you look
What-
at the paper again, it says, "To Ava, so you can always keep your drums with you whenever you need them."
Oh my gosh.
You have just been given another ability. Whenever you have this snap bracelet on you, once per session, you can move a group of people up to 20 people as far as 1 kilometer in any direction that you
Oh
wish.
my god. That's amazing.
Yes.
I'm so
Teleportation.
1 kilometer.
Yes!
That's okay.
Wait,
All
does the
right.
group not have to include me?
It can be you and a group of other people. It can be other people. You can pick a location or a direction. Like, you can be specific
So-
if you wish.
So Ava will never do this. But I just thought about like some Azazel ass bullshit. I'm just gonna pop people up a
Yeah.
kilometer in the air. Nah.
That's what I thought of. As soon as you said you don't have to go with them, I'm just like, okay, cool.
Hmm.
Into the sky.
Never. Ava's too good to do that. Vale's a bad person. Would be like.
Uh,
I
so
think
there are
Ava's
three
gonna
of
start opening boxes to like try and find Nachmat theirs. Hopefully theirs can help with their headache.
That just so happens to be the second box that you open, and you find in it.
some Sonic Underground.
You find in it an enamel pin that looks to you like a harp, or like, well, it looks to you like it would be a harp if it's supposed to be resting on one of its sides, or it may be like a pedal guitar or one of those other kinds of string instruments that you actually have to place on your lap or on a table to play, but you're not very familiar with those instruments. Um, but Nakmat's name is on it, and it also has a um, extra gold loonie in that box as well.
Want to put it on? Want to see if something weird happens? It's probably dangerous. We probably shouldn't be doing this. So this is great.
Even though you're unmuted in,
I had my double mic mute. I try not to do my mic mute while on stream, but I was a fool. Nefmat will be like, Nefmat will walk over and like take it from the box and just in response say, "Can't be worse than anything else that's happened today." Just
Okay.
attach the pin.
Cool. So, I'm gonna ask if this is an instrument that you're familiar with IRL, Amr. Are you familiar with what a qanun is?
I what?
A qanun. It's spelled Qanun, as far as Wikipedia tells me.
Yes.
Right. Yes. It looks like that, but with gold strings. The pin is like a 1-inch pin. It feels lighter than it should be for its size in your hand, but it is quite big. When you put it on, you hear the strumming of strings in your ear. The effect that this gives you is once per session, you may plant a minor suggestion in another or a memory in another person. And that suggestion or memory is broken if anyone challenges its veracity. Like if anyone asks them to attempt to confirm that it is true or that they have that commitment to fulfill. And I will let you know that whenever it is broken, that person will be immediately alerted to the fact that you cast that suggestion, but still.
Okay.
So yeah. 2 more boxes.
Okay, which one's mine?
The next one that you find is Oliver's.
Oh,
That's...
pocket that. Because we need to give it to him.
Yes, so that's
We could just teleport to Oliver.
Yes.
The three of us just appear in front of Oliver 1 kilometer.
Surprise!
We appear in front of Oliver with our box of like golden and silver ass coins. Like, hello, Oliver.
Yeah.
Do you have a bank that we can go to?
Oh, are we doing this? Is this in canon? Is this real?
I mean,
I
don't
would
know how
like
you're going to
tribute.
explain
I don't know
alien points
if
to the
Ava
bank.
would do that.
I don't know how you're going to
I would
explain
love the
alien coins
idea
to
of
the bank.
showing up in Oliver's yard, because then we have to deal with Oliver's parents.
Specifically the process of actually manifesting where Oliver is at, because there's probably a thing that Oliver's in the middle of, like, getting prepared, and there's an idea that I wanted to do for that. So I like the idea of these kind of, like, crossing over in a very interesting way. Or we can resolve, rivers first. I think that's probably also
Yeah,
pretty
silver, gold, and gold plus for our depositing pleasure. Anyway,
What's
I guess
that
there's
weird
less
coin in
boxes.
D&D? Electrum? Is that gold
sure.
plus?
I guess that is
I-
gold plus.
Is that
I've
gold
never-
plus or platinum plus? I can't remember.
Oh man, I don't know.
It's in between gold and platinum, but we're not here to talk about D&D. What's in my box?
Right.
And
so,
then we'll transport.
So I will note that when you open Oliver's box, you see another enamel pin of a guitar. And in your box, you find a tie pin that has a very strange design of what you can tell is an electric violin that you've seen in a store before.
Ooh, yeah, those things are dope.
Yeah.
I've seen electric cellos in real life before. Would play those. Okay, yes. Ooh.
You don't have a tie on, so it's really just like a clip, essentially.
Yep. I think I'm wearing a jacket, so.
And you put it on the on your jacket, and you immediately hear like bowed strings. No one else can hear it, but you can hear it. And you know that the effect that this gives you is once per session, you can replace any sound around you with another sound, including replacing it with silence.
Oh. How long does that last for?
It lasts for as long as that sound is being played in the environment around you, which means that you have no
Okey-dokey.
control over when it ends, and once you've changed it, you can't change it into another thing. So if you like change an ambulance siren into like the sound of explosions, that will continue for as long as that siren is presently playing.
I have a question about reverse power. If you turn someone's voice into something else?
Yes, you can turn
As
someone's
long as they're
voice into
talking.
something else, including someone else's voice.
All right,
But you
but
can
if they
only but you can only recreate a voice that you've heard.
okay, but if they stop talking, that's when the effect ends, or is that indefinite now?
That will continue until they've stopped having the immediate conversation that they're about to have.
Okay,
Okay. So a conversation.
gotcha.
Neat. Cool. No doubt.
I just thought of like River turning someone into like someone annoying into like a chicken clucking for like a whole conversation.
I mean, you can do that if you wanted to never hear Devlin speak to you again.
So you just see River, like you see the clip, and then just kind of like staring off into space with a big smile on her face, going. And she's gonna be like that until maybe you shake her out a bit.
Yeah.
Nagmat will
She's-
be like, so am I the only one who has a headache, or
Yeah, I'm sorry, sweetheart.
no? Me waving in front of like in response to like River zoning out, just like
Oh, maybe when we go see Oliver, they'll snap out of it. She'll snap out of it, and then Ava thinks about Oliver and sees how this power works.
Before we do that, I want everyone to note, for their own purposes, that they have. What am I going to call this? Right. Everyone notes that you have one god coin.
casual things to write down.
Yeah, normal thing to note.
Is that in all caps?
It's G.O.
Capitalize it the way that you capitalize
D.
a crypto.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's an all caps
Capital
normal
G,
word,
capital
sure.
C.
Mm-hmm.
Heh, heh, heh. You can take as many other coins from the box if you want. Are you going to take any more of them?
I think like what Ava suggested earlier, teleporting the box with us is what I feel.
So wait, are you going to Oliver's house?
Can I? Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna
And-
appear in the yard with the box is what I want to do.
Okay. If you want to take physical objects that are not on your person, you have to touch them.
Okay, I'm gonna lay in the
I think you should dive into it like Scrooge McDuck.
Hey, at least.
Just you in this dented golden chest.
Listen,
Lying in it like, oh wow.
I want,
Amazon
like-
one-day delivery has nothing on this.
Yeah, this is brilliant.
You know what? I can make this work tonally. This is fine.
And
So-
you think about Oliver in order to arrive to Oliver's immediate vicinity.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Cool.
And
Okay, Oliver.
Yes.
So when you get home, what are you doing?
Right. So, the timing of this is relatively important. So, if you'll allow me,
Because I want you
Oliver,
to get like.
it dropped off by the kind of like organizational aid. They got the car and everything, and he kind of stumbles back into his house. And his parents probably greet him upon because they know that the concert was on. They maybe even watched it on TV. and he walks straight past them upstairs and gets in the shower. Yeah, almost kind of like on autopilot. And we cut to after where he's kind of like, toweled up and is looking in the bathroom mirror. And his eyes change to just being pure depths of space again. No whites of the eyes, just pure space as before. And then he blinks a couple times and it goes. And then he's like, that's not real. This isn't a real thing. But music can do things like translucent arms, and he like leans in closer, like stretching his eye open as he's like looking in, and the camera kind of follows. And as we get closer, we can see that, like, when you look at like a CRT screen up close, and it is lots of individual points of red, green, and blue light that then make up the larger image. The camera zooms in, and we start to get that effect on the eyeball of Oliver Hoshizora, the kind of like the sound of TV static rising in the background. And then there is a very loud crash outside.
So I want to set the scene a little bit more because other things have happened. Okay, so you get home. Your parents greet you. The audience sees your mother is like very excited about that performance. But you step right past your parents, and your mother is like obviously worried about you in this moment, but they let you be. You get to the bathroom, you take a shower, you go to the bathroom mirror. As you're having this moment at the mirror, we see other things past the CRT. Give me an attune roll. Your
Excellent.
position is desperate.
Okay.
Your effect
I will.
is extreme.
Mathematically, I am going to roll a 1d12 rather than the d20. I will note for the audience's sake that at the end of the last session, I put myself at 9 stress. I'm maxed out. We haven't explored the consequences of what can cause stress beyond abilities, but Oliver is in a very delicate position where maybe hitting the magic too hard could possibly push them over the edge. This is a 1d12 plus 4 because I have 2 points in the tune. Desperate extreme, let's go. 13.
Okay.
Which... just a full success.
Yeah.
Just a full success.
Just
Nobody
a
dies.
full success. This game is... you know that this game is doing something either brilliant or terribly frightening. When succeeding is a very mediocre thing that you can do.
You barely ever do it, too.
Yeah, we don't often just regular succeed. That is very true.
So... you are just essentially observing, you are trying to like make sense of what just happened to you in that moment. Your eyes are still like obviously starry. Not in the anime sense of this is just happening to establish for everyone that you are still in shock. Your eyes are literally made of space in this moment. And as you stop to observe it, we get to observe that like beyond that momentary kind of like third wall that is essentially your eye, we can see actual space. There is a portion of the night sky that is now briefly available to you in this moment. You see a couple of shooting stars pass. You make out like the vague shape of what would historically be the constellation Ophiuchus. But you notice that the brightest star in that constellation changes color from like the dim like dot of white that you would see to this very vivid kind of pink, then this
Mm,
vivid kind of green, then disappears. Um,
yeah.
you see a woman in an uh, astronaut suit, but it's not like a typical kind of astronaut suit. The helmet is like designer. It like
Mm,
it meets at the like it's the glass of the helmet is not curved. It has like angles, and the way that the vertices of those angles meet gives the impression that if the rest of the helmet weren't also weren't curved, if the rest of the helmet were also angular,
mm.
this would roughly take the shape of um, an object that would have hexes for all of its faces.
Mm.
And that woman is just like walking in space, like space has a floor. And like she's headed in a random direction, and then she notices that you're looking at her,
Mm.
salutes, winks, and keeps walking. And then you step back from the bathroom mirror.
Yeah, like I think Oliver is kind of, I think, crying at this point, in a mixture of both having stared incredibly hard and in weird shock, tears are welling out of this starry eye, and like am I like broken? And yeah, like horrendous sound outside interrupting the thought.
You start crying. Um, the actual stars in your eyes are now pooling into the tears that are falling from your face. They
Mm.
hit the bathroom sink solid. They're making like small like stabs into the porcelain of your bathroom sink. Crash! You hear something fall
Oh,
in
that's
the
super.
yard
Yeah,
outside.
yeah. Oh no. There's like a blink and just a hurried like wipe away of one of the tears, which probably then send
Yeah, one
tiny
star
sparks of
collides with the wall
stars.
of your bathroom. Crash! Like
Mm-hmm,
two
mm-hmm.
tiles just chipped.
Because the stars are super dense, even if they're tiny. How weird. But yeah.
Meanwhile, the three of you outside, like you were in an alley previously, and then you thought about being where Oliver was, and then all of you just appeared in the lawn. You didn't fall, but there was this like whooshing sound as you landed that it accidentally kind of applied extra mass to the chest that you're lying in, because I mean the chest is already full and you're landing on lawn, so you have no idea what's like underneath that lawn, but like you still moved essentially, so terminal velocity went somewhere and it went downward, but it also went outward, so a handful of coins just start flying in random directions, and you break one of the streetlights and you break one of the neighbors' front windows.
That was a lot smoother than the first one. Do we know about each other's abilities yet? Because if not, what was that?
See, I was just thinking about Oliver, and I thought that maybe something would happen. I didn't expect this to happen.
Is this his house?
I don't know. I've never been to his home.
Are we
I'm hoping it
trespassing?
is.
This is a backyard, right? We in a backyard?
You
Or are we in
are
a
I think we're in a
yard?
front
You're
yard.
in the front yard.
Okay, this is fine.
A very like what looks like a very affluent like suburban area of
Damn.
the Hex. You can
Oh,
notice
I'm gonna
like
get
the
arrested.
kitchen and front the kitchen and living room lights of 2 or 3 houses on the other side of the street flick on, and you can see people peeking out of their windows.
Ava's like putting on her mask.
So Oliver, you see your friends on a large
like-
chest outside.
the jacket, trying to pull on the outfit that they were going to wear to this after party, like hopping with one, putting the leg into one trouser as they kind of like half hop, half roll out the front of the house. What the hell is going on?
Do you want the short version or the long version?
We found a
almost
box.
non-verbal, just gesturing to the front of my mom's house.
I think we're rich because weird coins, and also we have a gift for you.
From inside the house, you can hear your mother call, Ollie, are you okay?
I'm turning like backwards, like I'm fine. You might have to get new fuchsias and hydrangeas though. They are gone.
You hear frantic
Here-
footsteps from the staircase inside. Like in like far less time than it has ever taken your mother to get to the front door of the house ever. The door swings open behind you.
These hydrangeas are obliterated.
Your mother
Oh,
gasps. And just kind of gingerly steps back inside and closes the door.
Okay.
Hello.
So I don't know if she's going to be kind of like leaving us alone, or is going to be getting a kitchen knife and killing all three of you for
Oh.
ruining her front garden. So,
How about
Make
you
this
look
quick?
at this? Yeah, here's a box.
Got this
It's
box.
an alien gift from above because apparently we're going to be heroes as well as musicians. Here you go.
Oliver does not
Ava's
react
fault.
to that like that's strange, considering the moment that they just had. So they take this from you like it's the normalest thing, being like, I see. Opens it. An enamel, a guitar enamel pin.
Yes.
And places it on the so I imagine the kind of like after party outfit of being like, you aware of the phenomenon of like basketball player runway chic, where it's all very kind of like designer outdoorsy sportswear.
Yes.
Plaid is a pretty popular material, like a pretty popular pattern for this. So it's kind of like it is it is a material that is tracksuit cut, but cut as a suit in black and gold plaid, and attached to the. I want this thing now.
Yeah,
that
that
sounds
sounds pretty
rad.
awesome.
And he attaches it to the kind of like lapel collar of this tracksuit material suit.
Yeah. You hear like the sound of someone tracing their fingers along an actual guitar from middle C to high C. There is like this brief moment as you hear it. Like you are acutely aware, just as an aside, that there is a star on your face from when you were crying. And like as the sound, like in the the source of the sound, you just get the vague impression that you've just been given a new power, and that power is, once per session, you can cast a tangible illusion for everyone within the vicinity as much as 50 meters.
Like unruined.
Everyone can feel that illusion, but they can't smell or taste anything from it. And it is broken whenever it comes into contact with another magical barrier or the source of greater magical power.
Got perfectly fixed lawn.
To be real, that might be a very apt current use of that ability, depending on how long we linger here.
Yes.
Because nobody needs to die tonight.
fair enough. I don't know how she's gonna believe that the chest actually landed on it and did no harm. But you can still do the thing.
It'd be enough to help us leave the scene, I think, more than anything else.
Fair
Um,
enough.
Can we bring this into your house?
The the box.
The chest of coins. You can say it's cosplay. River doesn't know what cosplay is.
Oliver knows what cosplay is and pulls a face. I mean, I guess we could say it was made of warbler or something. Okay, well, let's move it out of this front yard before people... Well, people are
Okay.
already going to be asking questions, but before things get more complicated, let's just get it out of everybody's line of sight.
Who's lifting the chest?
At least Ava.
Yeah, I think Oliver, despite not being physically capable, specifically goes over to try and attempt to lift it, assuming it's going to be a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
River is also not very strong, but also tries to help. So I like to think it's Ava at one side and everyone else on the other.
Say,
I don't know how strong Nachmat is, but they have a headache.
We've already established Nakhmat has 0 points in any force skill.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Nakhmat is good at one sport, and it's swimming and nothing else.
Cool,
Mm,
cool,
mm.
cool, cool.
Yeah.
3v1. It is even now.
So everyone who is lifting the chest, give me a roll.
Oh no.
You will be rolling.
Consequence of my
Whatever it is, I don't have it.
actions.
I'm going to make a double check to see if I can make an argument for the things in force I do have.
It does strike me very obviously a scuffle.
Yes.
The
I don't-
consequences of my actions.
We love it.
Who would
I
have seen
don't
this
think,
coming?
Can I make a case for finesse here? Nah, it's fine. I'll just go with the...
There is a very silly finesse case that I can make, but it makes this scene unnecessarily comedic. Which
Yeah,
is,
no,
finesse
let's-
is the act of you rolling the chest into the house and up the staircase.
No. For sake of expediency, I'm happy to take my 0 points and roll scuffle.
That's still a minor success. That's still a minor success.
Both
And
ends
a
of failure.
strain!
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
you're glad that in conditions where you have no dots and an action, strains have priority over failure. So this
I
is going to
still
be
do
hilarious.
it, but...
Right. So I see River's roll. I see
Minor
Oliver's
success.
roll. Ava, did you roll yet?
Yeah, I got a 8,
Ah.
which I think is a regular? Or is it
That's
one
a
off
minor
of regular?
success, 4 to 8.
Right.
So
yes.
3
Ah.
minor successes and 1 straining performance. Fun, fun, fun.
Okay.
See, no regular successes allowed.
It makes sense that Oliver would strain themselves here under all things considered.
So you lift the thing like with mostly a great deal of ease. Ava, you struggle a bit, but like it's still not impossible for you to lift this. Oliver,
Mm.
there is this like brief feeling when you like hold the chest. You are briefly out of your body for a bit. It feels like you are lifting the thing with ease, which is already like tremendously rare for you, given the size of this chest. But when you touch it, it feels just briefly like you are moving very, very slow.
Mm.
Like it's this weird kind of feeling where like you have that sensation, but you're also like cognitively aware that nothing has changed.
Mm-hmm.
So you like is like you just wrestle with the fact that you're trapped in that sensation for a bit, and then you put the chest down in your room and everything is fine.
Okay. Okay, that was easier than I expected. We are expected. Okay, keep it together. We are expected at Club Onyx in 20 minutes. I fully want to attend to that because I think it will do us well for performances going forward. We now have an image to maintain.
I'll call the shuttle.
Excellent.
Okay. So do you click the link that the stage manager gave you? Cool. The link does nothing for several beats. And then Discord asks you if you'd like to add an extension to the app.
I'm
Allow
always
or
worried
do
about
not
this. I always feel like the extensions I add, I get viruses. I'm gonna allow
I
it.
suppose if it's as I guess all of us have this, right? With my special ability of being innately talented at hacking.
Mm-hmm.
What's the vibe of this? Is this a yeah, we can do this and there won't be any immediate repercussions, or yeah, we can do this but I might need to counter hack a thing?
Oh no, it looks legit. It
Yeah.
looks like a totally run-of-the-mill app.
In that case, Oliver like assuades Ava's concerns. Like, surprisingly enough, this one's legit. But then I suppose they don't need to run a shady operation with their would-be major musical talent.
That's fair. No, yeah, I allow it.
Okay. It brings up the other obvious pop-up there where it asks if you give it permission to track your location.
I'll tell you how to turn that off later. Just accept it for now.
No, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Contacts, files, and
And-
media.
And
Flashlight.
when you accept, it brings up an extension to your Discord account called Apollo. It's a rideshare service.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then when you open the extension, it says Madeline Torres has requested your location for a transport. Do you agree, yes or no?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can be picked
Yeah.
up from here.
You click yes, it brings up the map for your location and tells you that a shuttle will be arriving to pick you up in 6 minutes.
Is the chest safe here? I guess we gotta get downstairs.
Well, it's as safe as it's going to be in 6 minutes.
Okay.
Oliver says, "Excuse me," and steps out of the bedroom and goes downstairs. Mum, Dad, do you want to meet my band?
Your father is reading a book. When you say that, your mother is glancing out of the kitchen window in the direction of the flower garden with like this obvious look of absolute despair on her face. And when they turn to meet you, you give me an observe roll, Oliver.
Do I have that? I have a feeling I don't, actually. don't. Okay. All right, 2d20.
Your position is controlled. Your effect is limited.
Mm-hmm. I fail.
Huh? Hmm. You notice your mother obviously threw a thing into the kitchen sink, but you can't tell what it was. And she looks at you, smiles, and says, "Yeah, I'd love to meet them. I'm. Did they do? Is that? Was that?
That's a very complicated question that I'm not quite sure if I'm in a position to answer right now. But the television studio is sending a car to this location to attend the performance's after party. Now, they are clearly sending a rider large enough for all of us. I don't know whether necessarily you're interested in the night on the town. But apparently, this is going to be at least a responsibility for this evening for me personally.
Your dad scoffs. You can tell out of the corner of your eye that he's looking at your mother with what you can tell is this thought of, it would be nice for us to get out, but no way I'm going to a party with my son. That's embarrassing.
A party that your son invited to you. You weren't able to go by yourself. Yeah.
But your mom is like, yeah, we'd love to meet them. I'd love to see who finally got you to get out of your shell for a little bit.
Hello.
So the rest of you, I imagine, are just like standing on the staircase, looking over the.
Oh yeah, it's the like
The stack.
cartoon sitcom bit where like everyone is like one after the other peeked over.
Over
Yeah.
the banister.
I don't know who
Yeah.
left first, but Ava was like, maybe we shouldn't, and now like Ava's like the third one.
So Mrs. Hoshizora waves and says, "Hi, we're so glad to meet you. I'm sure, as our lovely son Ollie has already mentioned, you may be on your way out in a little bit, so it's unfortunate. We'd like to at some point, if you'd want to come over for dinner or anything, we'd be more than happy to host you. I just love to get to know you all a bit more. Just next time, maybe mind the flowers."
I feel like we all push Ava forward a little. Or at least I do. I push Ava forward. Yeah.
Ava,
was
give
like-
me a finesse roll.
We're gonna throw Ava down the stairs.
I'd
This
like
is
to
gonna
say
be-
that while
Down the stairs and
pushing
under
you
the
forward,
bus,
we
okay.
also-
Both of those
step
are
back.
failures. Both of
you
they're
tumble
failures.
down the staircase.
I'd like to hold on. I have a thing I can use.
Oh no.
Nope,
I
that's
swear to
just
God, if you
magical
fuck
force,
my
baby.
mom.
I like to think that I make some attempt to look dignified. Some attempt to look dignified once standing up. It's like, like my mask is askew, and it's just like,
Yeah. I
I'd
mean,
love that, and I definitely. This is not something that will ever happen again, and I'm gonna make steps to fix what happened. My name is Ava.
hello,
Oliver is
Ava.
now a good friend of ours.
I'm glad to hear that. I will
In a-
let you know where I buy my seeds at some point. Oliver will deliver that message on my behalf. I had orchids. Those were very special to me. But it's okay. It's okay. Just don't let it happen again.
Brandon, I want to try something that I shouldn't do in front of civilians, but I'm gonna do it.
Try it. Try it,
Okay,
please.
okay.
What are you going to do?
I want to try and like cast some magic real quick to like fix the flower beds before we leave.
As in to physically fix them, like to actually, like
Yes,
genuinely.
like restore them, like genuinely restore them.
Do you have any? Do you have any abilities that would help in that regard? I do not think you do.
No.
Okay. This is going to be delightful.
Oh no.
Give me. Give me an attune roll.
Cool with this.
Your position is desperate. Your effect is great. Seven
It's a
is
regular
yo.
success.
Oh man. Oh man.
Pasha.
um.
Can I sort of set this up a little bit, Brandon? for
Right.
you?
Yes. Please
All right.
describe to me.
So, Ava's gonna be like, Oliver is such a like unique presence now in my life. I'm really glad to know Oliver. Actually, Oliver and River, if you listen to the Sound Clash, Oliver and River wrote the song that we performed. And as you like, I understand that those orchids were really important to you, and I'm very sorry. I know how that can be, and maybe with a little bit of a touch of like how special that your son is, maybe we could just sort of like deal with it. And then I do. I almost feel like it's like the drum roll that I heard, like maybe not so PowerPoint presentation.
So you don't really hear anything, but like you do, like there's this like vague sense of confirmation that you have that a thing did in fact happen, even though like you're not, because of the curtains and the distance that the end of the staircase is from the window, you can't actually see from this point. But we notice very externally, including Mrs. Hoshizora, that some of these flowers that literally had like broken stems, and were like accidentally uprooted by the corner of the chest and stuff like that, they just like magically just revert to their original position. Yeah, it just instantaneously happens that everything is all brand new. And she doesn't notice it for a moment. She's like, I, I appreciate that you will do whatever you have to fix my flowers. It looks fine, I think.
Oh, I'm so glad the damage wasn't that bad.
Yes, but please don't ever like that. Please, like, I would appreciate it very much if you steered clear of them in future. Thank you.
With the kind of like, because Oliver didn't know necessarily how the transportation worked, so with both River and Nukmat having pushed Eva forward, Oliver puts two and two together and turns to Eva and meets her in the eyes. It's like, yes, that's not going to happen again, is it?
Never again.
Excellent, amazing.
And just as this happens, you hear loud honking outside.
Right, well, this has been well, this has been, there's like a beat. Oliver starts walking to the door and doesn't finish the sentence.
River runs.
Yeah.
Nice
your
meeting you.
Mr. Hoshizara, who is still reading, waves without like looking up from the book and says, "I trust you won't be out too late."
No, of course not. Of course not.
And you both head out, and you all head outside to meet the gaudiest party bus you've ever seen in your life. Glittered spray paint, the side windows have like grates on them for no real reason. There is like very loud, like hip hop playing from the inside.
Hmm.
You open the bus. It's very big. There are like soft like bench seating on the outer end of the inside of the bus, as if to just like make like a rough semicircle of cushioning for you all to sit, essentially facing each other, facing the windows. um
Oh, cool. They have like a pole like for buses you can hold on to on a bus.
they do. The pole
No
doesn't
one
look-
corrects.
Ava refuses to be the person that corrects.
Oh yeah.
River?
Oliver and Ava are obviously aware not only what this is, but that it very obviously does not look clean. And that
No.
and the driver looks back from like the driver's seat of the bus, is like, "So y'all headed to Onyx?
Yes.
You got it." And like closes like essentially the like latch door between the driver's side section of the bus and the rest of the bus, and starts driving before you even close the door. And it's just the sound of y'all in this bus loudly booming rap music through this suburban street.
Silence. Classical music.
Yes, okay, cool. So we fade out on this scene. The door closes, you drive off. Doesn't like a handful of irate citizens on this suburban block are poking their head out, and we can hear
The most lurid version of Air in G, just as this rockets past.
as these neighbors poke their heads out ready to complain, somewhat diegetically, you can, from an audience perspective, you can hear dozens of people raising their voices in frustration, and then hip-hop just shifts slightly into classical music as the camera pans away and you all drive off from this area towards Club Onyx. And that's where he's going to end tonight's session of Sound Clash the Clampdown. You all got
Very
some
silly.
things. This was my attempt to rectify a thing that I forgot to mention in the crew sheets the very first time that I gave you the crew sheets, which is beyond abilities and your hum, the other way that you get to individually specify your character from other characters is that musicians who are gifted in spell song, whenever they pick their premier instrument, that comes with an ability. So now you have these. These not only represent the individual instruments that you'd prefer to play, but any other instrument in that genre if you wanted to switch them out in the middle of a performance, because once you activate them, they will turn into an instrument on stage. But you can also use those session abilities, whether you're on stage or not, whether you're performing or not. Doesn't depend on anything but your insistence upon using it. So yeah.
Gotcha. Ooh, exciting.
So how do you all
Yes.
feel about tonight's session?
I had a good time.
Yes.
I am at heart a comedian, so the sillier side of me was around. Always fun time. Always a fun time.
Up here
you-
in for the audience is that we were talking about like horror versus comedy right before this started, so I was feeling like especially silly.
Cool. I'm glad I gave you a
mean,
comedy
right.
beat because the horror is coming.
Oh no.
You need to nice to strike a good balance between doing a bit and then kind of like, because I guess I enjoy about the fact that all the magic in this setting is still relatively unknowable, and we're doing all this stuff without really properly knowing how it works,
Mhm.
nor do we really know how to sensibly handle the fallout from using it incorrectly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
What's fun
looking
is
forward
like the
to
whole
learning more and
world
more.
also doesn't know. So
Hmm.
that is a fun mystery that we all get to
Yeah.
live
We are
with.
inherently dangerous beings.
Hooray.
We haven't run into the cops again since before, and I have a feeling that the moment that we try and cast magic not on stage, the cops will immediately show up. Um,
Oh yeah, you'll still have to deal with that property damage at some point. And I mean, they know who's responsible because you were on TV when it happened, so that's gonna be curious.
It's fine.
But to that magic point, one of the things that I think is really interesting about like Sound Clash from a world building perspective is that we all know that magic is responsible for these things, but you have no idea what magic what it's capable of at its higher limits. You just know that if you perform well or if you perform music poorly or well, things can just happen and you just have to deal with the consequences of what happens, knowing that it's a high probability that something will, which is very intriguing. And what I like about this about these sessions is that you're also eager to just like leap into the worst possible things that can happen.
Yes, please.
I mean, that's the appeal of Forged in the Dark, where you can put your character through the ringer, and they don't die, but they just kind of it just becomes spicier the more trauma you put them through.
We
Yeah.
like the spice.
We love the spice here.
Speaking of the ringer, in our next session we will be doing downtime things. So I just want to get a sense of where everyone's stress is, because I know for a fact Oliver is mighty
9 out
overwhelmed
of
at
9,
the
baby.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
I have 5 stress.
Yeah.
Same.
I think I have 2, according to my sheet.
Mhm.
River's the most chill of
Yeah.
all of us.
River is absolutely relaxed, whereas everyone else is really not having it. So we're going to give you all some opportunities to indulge in some vice and do some other things, while also getting in some shenanigans. Hopefully, by the time that session takes place, I would have figured out some entanglements things for this game, because I forgot to do those. But yeah, I'm looking forward very much to our next session, where you get to Club Onyx and we get into some more shenanigans. But until that next session, I would like you all very much to tell all you lovely people in chat who you are, what you do, and where people can find you, starting with Vale.
Hey guys, I'm Vale. I use he and they pronouns. You can find my wonderful voice being Nyx in a Forgotten Eras, which is a podcast I do this in the interstitial system. You can also find me on sometimes, on Utopia, on Off the Table. There are various VODs and stuff that I'm in the past that I'm part of. Look for me. If you like me, because I'm hoping to get a lot more places. This coming Saturday, have an all-day charity event hosted by my podcast Forgotten Eras. I don't remember what charity we're doing, which is bad, but I'm also not the one in charge of the event. So, but come on over to I will drop the link in chat. Well,
I
after
would have looked
this.
for it, but I cannot type. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Um,
I will drop the link in chat after this. But I would really love to see folks come by. We're going to be playing a bunch of different games. And if you guys are fans of the Yakuza games, we're literally having Kaiji Tang come in for our last game of the night of Beam Saber.
Oh wow, that
And
acquisition.
he's going to be guesting. It's really wild. It's very, very nervous.
Cool, nice. Next, Nathan.
Hi, hello. I am the Afrofuturist space diva, Nathan Blades, thank you so much for having me on the show once again. After over a month of not being able to stream because there was a lot of things going on in my life, including a new job and moving house, the return of the Neoncaster Twitch channel is imminent. I will start streaming again on the 28th, so that is next Monday. Well, currently it's after midnight on my side, so the Monday after next for everybody else. I'll be streaming every day that week up until Saturday from 8 p.m. British Standard Time, British Summer Time, including a VTuber debut on Saturday. So keep it locked on my Twitter, Phantom Art Cent, for updates of all the cool things we'll be streaming and when to go catch them.
Nice. I very much look forward to that. That's gonna be rad. A VTuber, really? I'm impressed. I can't wait to see it. That's cool. Next, Katie.
Hello, I've been Katie Chin playing River Song for you tonight. If you want to hear more of my voice, you can catch me on Valence Podcast, where I play Grace Chen, someone doing her best amongst a bunch of disaster queers, I guess would be a good way of describing them. You can also hear my voice. I think I'm in the most recent episode of a podcast called Blake Sky Private Eye, where I play a very morally questionable Chinese gangster who is doing some deals under the table, of course. And one more thing, there is something happening in the works that I should be able to announce next time, but I will say it is related to this book that says comedy writing for late night TV. But guess you'll have to wait for next time.
And where can people find you on Twitter if they wanted to find out about the thing?
If you want to find me on Twitter, I am at Katie Peak, with Peak spelled like Mountain Peak. And on Twitch, I don't really do anything, but you could still give me a nice follow or whatever it's called on Twitch. I'm not good at Twitch, but it's Macaroni KTX.
Nice. Cool. Thank you. And last but not least, Amr.
Hello, hello, hello. I am Amr Emerez. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Emerez. I do writing, game design, the whole shebang. Right now, you can catch me over on Utopia as part of both the Cape and Blades streams as well as the upcoming Tidebreaker streams, where we play some games of Tidebreaker set in Tidebreaker by. Let me pull up the name so I can actually do proper marketing. But the Tidebreaker system and set in the Archon setting by Kiana Shaw and Jason by Nick Butler's Tidebreaker. So yeah, you can go check all of that out. That's and other than that, you can also hear me on the Protein City Comics podcast right now as part of their Pride Comics run. That's it. That's all I got.
Nice. Cool. Thank you so very much. That sounds really cool. And as for me, I have been your stage manager this evening, Brandon O'Brien. Pronouns he, him, or they, them. You can find me on Twitter at The Rising Tides. I designed, or I'm still designing, the game Sound Clash, which is a Forged in the Dark game about music, magic, and sticking it to the industry. Which you will hear more about at some point when it is finally finished, which I hope will be very soon. I am also, as previously mentioned, one of the co-hosts of the Speculate podcast alongside our good friend Greg, whose channel we are presently on, as well as Mike Underwood. I'm also the co-host of the Skiffy and Fanty podcast, which you can find at skiffyandfanty.com. Expect a lot of very interesting episodes about all of my feelings about how streaming is actually not very helpful. And I am going to be doing things on Twitch as well. Starting from tomorrow, I decided I was going to resurrect my Twitch channel. So if you want to see me play Chroma Squad, a tactical RPG inspired by Power Rangers, I will be live tomorrow evening playing the thing. So if you want to come and hang with me, that would be really cool. But until that happens, until the next time we have another session of Sound Clash the Clampdown, I'd like it very much if you all gave your love to all of these wonderful players as we call it a night. Thank you so very much. I will see you all very soon. I'm just going to disappear for a little bit as I move over here. Thank you so very much, everyone, for passing through for this session. This was a lot of fun. Um, I wanted to do all of the things this evening, but I'm very glad that at the very least we got to give the players some cool things. I've been setting up those instruments for a while, and I'm glad that I got to um, not only essentially power them up, but to fill like a space in the um, character sheet that was supposed to be fulfilled a long time ago that I had um, accidentally skipped. So thank you so very much. So let me just see a thing. First and foremost, I would like very much to again thank Arvan Elleron. Thank you so very much, Greg, for giving me an opportunity to do this cool thing on your channel. I'm always very glad to be able to show people Soundclash and show people what Soundclash looks like at the present moment, and I'm very glad that I have this space and this community to be able to show this game to. So thank you so very much for giving me this opportunity and this space. Thank you to the mods. Trifidi Mats, thank you so very much for being present. As Arv says, the mods on this channel are the best in the business, and I personally think that you are a testament to how good moderation on Twitch can be at its very best. So thank you so very much for being present. Thank you so much to Amaraz, Blackberry Bear, Crit Twitch, Discord for small streamers, ECAG, Garlic Tofu, Gigafrost, Macaroni KTX, Prince Justin, Sad Girl, The Neon Caster, The Sparkly Wallflower, U Christiansen, Villain Vicencio, and Zenerex for being present. This was a lot of fun. I'm very glad that I got to share this play with you. We will let you know when in July we'll be ready for another session, as with all of my other Sundays as well. As previously mentioned, I will be live on my own channel on Monday, which will be convenient for a great deal of you, because on Mondays there is, if I'm not mistaken, no content on the Arvan Elleron channel, which is unfortunate, of course, but it means that if you wanted to step away for a bit, you can come and hang with me as I play Chroma Squad, and we get into tokusatsu television shenanigans. But until the next time that I see you, whether it be tomorrow or next Sunday for another or on a Sunday in the future for another episode of Soundclash the Clampdown, thank you so very much for spending some time with us this evening, and I will see you all very, very soon. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.